Today I'm here with Philip Morris. He's the CEO of Proctors Theatre, and he's got an exciting story that you definitely want to hear. Philip, thanks for spending some time with me. It's always an honor to talk to you.
Oh, delighted. I'm really glad to do it.
Yep.
Great to be with you.
Yep. So, boy, this has been a project. You've been here for a number of years, and what I want to do is I want to really let everybody understand, what have you done? It's been a huge accomplishment. I mean, Schenectady, New York, I mean, if we talked to some people years ago and you would say Schenectady, they were always kind of fearful of Schenectady just because when GE started pulling out and all that, but it's definitely changed, and you came in the early stages. Well, you've been here for how many years now?
I've been here 14 years. I remember vividly my first time coming for my first interview and going, oh my God, what happened to this town? I love cities. I love New York State. Been here since I was 18, and I couldn't believe how disastrous Schenectady looked. In fact, when I walked into my first interview, I said to the board committee, who was watching? Wasn't anybody doing anything about this?
Because I consider you to be the ultimate entrepreneur. I really do, because I mean, you came in, the odds were against you, the town was not what you would expect. You've got a theater, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know, but things that I've heard that theaters, you know, the people actually go into a theater and enjoying it like they used to years ago, the numbers have probably gone down. How did you stay positive, and what were the steps you took to turn everything around?
Well, you know, there are lots of things that were here and ready for change. You know, the community had voted to get an authority, the Metroplex Development Authority, which was trying to focus on the downtown. Mm-hmm. The authority had some money. It had done some looking at how to fix the downtown, though its strategy early on was to find a silver bullet, you know, one big developer, and that big developer didn't appear and emerge. And at the same time, we were working with a lot of local people, Massones and Malozzi's, and just local people to say, well, if we do this big renovation, will you come? Will you follow? Will you do something with us? And slowly they said yes. You know, Malozzi's the first, and over time, many other developers through the downtown and the movie theater and other players started to say, yeah, we're going to join this parade. So 14 years ago, Proctors did 40, 50 events a year and maybe attracted 90,000 people. Last year we had 1,700 events and 700,000 people through the property.
Wow. So how'd you create the attitude of yes, though? I mean, because you had to be like, whew, boy, this is going to be a pretty big challenge. Do I really want this challenge? But how'd you create the buy-in of yes?
You know, it's funny, I can't answer that really well. What I do is get stuff done. I mean, I just like to get stuff done, and I like to do good things. 25 years in Western New York, I used to push on 8, 9, 10 things at a time, and one of them would move slowly, because it was just a small town, Jamestown, and it did things, but it never came easily. And here, I just use the same sort of attitude of, I'm going to push 7, 8, 9 things at once, see what happens.
I love that attitude.
And they all moved at once.
Oh,
That's what was different here. Everything moved.
Yeah, because I love that attitude. So many of the entrepreneurs I talk to, they say focus on 2 or 3 things and do them really well, and just focus on them and don't get distracted. What you're saying, I can relate to so much. It's like focus on a lot of different things and make something happen.
Yeah, and you know, make sure they're tied together, that the strings make sense to me.
Right.
But they don't have to be perfectly aligned, but they have to be, the strings make sense.
So your team, your circle, I mean, in other words, your right and your left-hand team members, the people that help you move, I mean, what are some things that you looked for to be able to build that team? Actually,
a number of the people were here. A lot of people have grown with the place. Mm-hmm. So our facilities guy has been here for 20 years. Our development person has been here 20 years. When we added people, they often were hiring to add. And the probably most significant addition I've made is to with a chief of staff, and I look for someone with a lot of taste and a lot of gumption, and she's terrific. And as we've grown, that gives me the flexibility to still be out while the internals are being dealt with, because there's always something that's not smooth, right? There's always something.
I think that says a lot about your leadership style, though, because a lot of times when a new leader comes in, the staff completely turns. There's new people coming in, but you've kept pretty much the same staff in place. I mean,
well, it was very interesting when I was hired. I had 2 board members say to me, "Get rid of everybody." It was really weird, and I'd only had one job before, so I had one job for 25 years. This is my second job, so that's pretty odd. And I'm walking and going, my second job. Do I fire everybody really? So I decided to interview everybody for about an hour, every single person. Took a couple weeks and just took my time and talked to everybody. And at the end of 2 weeks, it occurred to me that for a long time, no one had opened a window and let fresh air in. I mean that metaphorically, obviously.
Right.
The previous director had died a year before. There had been no permanent leadership for a year. There was, you could imagine the little bit of infighting that without one leader, people would do to just deal with that. And I decided that my first job was to open the window and give people a chance to succeed, because very few felt like they even had the chance to succeed. And that was the attitude. And the few people who I wasn't certain of left pretty quickly because the train looked like it was moving fast. And they knew they weren't going to keep up.
They weren't ready for change.
And they left really quickly, actually. I mean, within 3, 4, 5 months.
Oh, wow.
And then everybody else said, "Well, I'm in for a ride, let's go." And they've done very well. We've all done very well,
So your leadership style is really, you know what you got to do it. I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm just going to kind of guide it a little bit here and there.
Yeah, it's trust and check.
So what do you think the qualities are? I mean, what you're doing, what are the qualities that you have that's worked best to be able to grow this to the level it is now?
Probably the most significant thing I brought to the place is the belief that money follows ideas, and that you need the ideas, and then people will, money will follow it. And
I love that. Money follows ideas.
Not the other way around.
Right.
So generating good ideas, delivering the message of them well, not so much strong arming, but letting people join in and be convinced that that's a good idea, allows the resources to deliver it.
Because so many business owners, I think what they really do is like, I want to make money, and I'm going to make money, and these are the things I have to do to make money. And it sounds like you don't do that. It's like, here's the idea, here's what I want to do, and money will follow it.
And money will follow, and that's largely been true for most of my career, all of my career, really. Communities want to believe, people want to believe in things. As much as I read about the divide of the digital world and people looking at their iPhones and, bowling alone and all that kind of stuff, I think the evidence leads more to people wanting to connect. And they want to connect in an authentic way. And they want to connect in a way that has not just meaning to them, but value.
Let's talk about, you mentioned social, and we were talking about that before we started filming here, but you did a Periscope video yesterday. Tell us about that.
Well, the Periscope thing's kind of funny because we wanted to distribute this year's brochure, which had Capital Rep season and Proctor season together, to every single household. Now, we'd never delivered that big in the MSA, so it'd be about 650,000 pieces. Well, one of the discounts that the post office offered this year, in their attempt to have snail mail link to the digital world, they wanted us to have a QR code that led to a Periscope video event announcing the season. We sent off 650,000 pieces. The QR code says log in, whatever it was, May 7th at 11 o'clock. And I was upstairs and we had 2 iPhones going, and I did a 20-minute bit on our season and everything that was in it, and it got watched by 4,000 people, and so we started to think about
maybe we're on something.
Live vidding all the time. And when I saw that the Democrats were doing a sit-in, doing live vid that became the C-SPAN, holy crap, that's just wonderful, right? I mean, I don't need you, major media. I just don't need you. If you're
Yes.
not going to cover this, here I am.
So if you were going to give some tips to entrepreneurs, what would the tips be that you could give an entrepreneur, somebody that's starting their business or already in business, and something that just scans any type of industry, really?
I think for all entrepreneurs, be they in the community arena, the exempt arena, or private sector, it's trust matters, ideas matter.
Yep.
Maybe more so in a highly social, digital, information passes quickly era than ever before, because you can find ideas all over the place, right? So an idea matters, and I think most entrepreneurs need to be as real as they can be. So that's my story. Now tell us yours.